we have show imported CAD items, okay, in the Manage Link dialog box. You will notice in the actual piece of the slide here, in this section of the slide, the actual Manage Links used to be at the end of the links, okay, tab right here, well, not tab, sorry, I take that back. This is actually your bar section in here, okay? It used to be at the end. It is now its own heading called Manage, and it's called Manage Links, okay? And it actually supports DWGs, DXFs, and DGNs. This is a SketchUp file and XAMs. It does not, however, support SATs, OBJ, 3DM, STE, step files, and STL files. So without any further ado, let's take a look and see how that looks like in our Revit. Let's go ahead and close these. Save changes, no to that. And we'll go ahead and say CAD in Revit Link Management is the file that we're opening. In this particular file, we already have a couple of CAD objects already really, they're not linked in this case. In this case, sorry, I just need to show you, they're actually imported, okay? Now, ideally, if you want to keep your project size smaller, you really don't want to load the family. What you really want to do is link it, even though both of them show up in the managed links, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the managed links and see what that's looking like right now. As you can see right now, okay, there's a couple of things that are happening here. Okay, it's kind of looking a little bit like the AutoCAD External Reference Manager, correct? And that's because basically this particular dialog box is going to function very similarly. What do I mean by that? Well, if I see what the options in these columns are, we see that we have the full path right here, safe path. Why is it the safe path? It's because the path type is absolute, just like in AutoCAD, okay? It's telling me what the file size are, but more than anything, it's telling me that there is one count of each, which is really, really a cool thing. Not only that, but if I actually go ahead and select any one of these, okay, it's going to actually give me additional little options, such as the reload, and I have reload from, so I can change where I'm actually loading it from, and other particular options. You have the option to reload it, you have the option to remove it, or you have the option to import an additional file. But the more interesting one to me is the actual show. Because at this point, I really don't know which one of these two it is that we're talking about. And if we had many, many more, obviously it would be even harder. But if I select it and go ahead and click on the show button, okay, I want you to keep an eye on, this is really cool. I want you to keep an eye on the count here. I'm going to say show here, oops, and there it is. It actually zeroes in on it. You see that? Okay. Now that's interesting. That's really cool. What happens then? If I select this object, obviously I have to unpin it if I want to do something with it. And I say, okay, I don't have one set of stairs, I have two sets of stairs. So I'm going to say, go ahead and copy it. And I'm going to copy it, arbitrarily, two additional times just to see what happens to our Manage Link dialog box. I have to go back over here to the inserts, obviously, and re-invoke my Manage Link dialog box. And look what happened. I'm just going to go ahead and shrink this a little bit. Okay, so we can have an easier time of looking at it. Look what happened. It's telling me that the stairs, which is this one right here, okay, the stairs, there are 3 of them. Now, if I come over here and say I delete not only these 2, but I go ahead and look at my Manage Links dialog box, the count went back to 1. You see that? Now, in AutoCAD, you would actually have to select it and then unload it, right? Or remove it. Basically, you would unload it from AutoCAD. That's how the external references work. This works a lot more intuitively. Why? Because if I actually go ahead and this is the only one left of that particular link that we have and I delete that link, in AutoCAD, you would have to go through, jump through a lot of rings and hoops in order for you to fix that. But in Revit, it automatically deletes it from the list, which is a huge advantage to have when you're actually working with these, because a lot of the times you have those errors where you say, okay, well, you have a problem there. There's an object that is missing. In this particular case, it seems like we're actually completely avoiding that.